Recently, my weigh-ins went from no loss to gaining a pound. Not too long ago, I would have been completely thrown by this. But now, I just see weight as one more data point, one more bit of information in my overall health picture. A large part of that approach comes from my understanding the cognitive distortions that, up until a few years ago, would have had me sitting on the couch and having a pity party and maybe a burrito or two. But now I understand them and how they work. All I do is keep doing what I need to do to become more fit with each passing day. What are cognitive distortions? How can you get control of yours? We'll find out on this episode of The Waiting. Before I talk about cognitive distortions, I'm going to call them thinking errors for the rest of the show. I want to talk about the larger field of cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT. CBT is an alternative to the sort of therapy you typically see in the movies or on television. If you're a fan of the TV show Mad Men, you know what I'm talking about. Betty Draper lays on a sofa, stares at the ceiling, and talks about whatever comes into her mind.
This has helped, being able to talk. Just me and you and your little pet.
The psychotherapist takes notes and typically says nothing. It's very theatrical, and Hollywood loves it. But research shows it does not seem to work. CBT, on the other hand, does. In CBT, the therapist and the client usually sit facing each other, no laying on couches. They talk to each other, and instead of typically focusing on the past, they focus on what is going on now and how you can get the results you want out of your life. The focus is on thought. If I change my thought to accurate ones, my chance of getting what I really want increase. Thinking errors are a part of CBT. Thinking errors are little packets of information each of us is born with. Everyone has them. These are not learned or taught. They're part of our DNA. There are a lot of them, somewhere between 20 and 30 types based on who you talk to. And it's through our experiences with our primary caretakers, usually our parents, that we begin the process of putting some of them into practice more than others. Eventually, we tend to subconsciously depend on a core group of thinking errors that we use over and over every day, and the rest just fade away. We're not going to attempt to talk about all of them, but I do see the same ones appear over and over when working with my clients who want to change their lives. I've identified 6 major thinking errors I see my clients struggle with when they're making any major transition, regardless of it's becoming fit, overcoming bad spending habits, or moving from one career to another. I'm fairly sure you'll recognize at least a few in yourselves. The first one has a name that pretty much explains what it is: black and white thinking. Everything is viewed as being either black or white, right or wrong, on or, you guessed it, off. The problem is it's an illusion. Most situations in life are not binary. For instance, the average body fat ratio for men is 21% and for women it's 28%. I think that if I am anywhere over 18% body fat, that means I am corpulent. When I started losing weight, I was right around 40% body fat. Yikes, no doubt about it. I was disastrously fat according to my thoughts and any chart I had ever seen. Over the past 2+ years, I've been lifting, running, and recording my eating on my macros. And what's the number now? As of my writing the script, it's around 18.5%. I was 40 plus, and now I am 18.5% body fat. Wow, it's amazing, right? Not according to black and white thought. By that standard, it's a total failure because I'm not 18% or below. Forget about the fact I've cut 23 points off my score. Unless I'm at the ideal number, the entire effort is a fail. And that is where Nike and I disagree. There's something more than first place. Getting 95, or in this case, 99% of what I want is great for me. Great for you too. Black and white thinking is perfectionistic. Unless we get it all, we have nothing at all. One more thought regarding black and white thinking. Many people also have a problem recognizing actual black and white events in their lives. And it's not like there are that many. We either have a job or we don't. We graduated or we did not. There's simply no middle ground in those cases. But humans imagine there are. For example, being married. We're either married or we're not. Many years ago, I had a client who claimed to have forgotten he never divorced his first wife, to the chagrin of wife number 2. His first marriage was bad, so he quote-unquote forgot about it, and in doing so, put his second marriage in jeopardy. Helping him embrace his very black and white denial, and all the complications that came with it, allowed him to own the situation and save his marriage, the second one that is, in the process. Another cognitive distortion that people frequently struggle with is should thinking. Should thinking makes it so you live your life for other people's ideals and not for who you genuinely want to be or genuinely are. I lost an entire decade of my life because I was living my family's ideals of who I quote-unquote should be instead of being who I actually am. Asserting myself and becoming an increasingly truer version of myself was painful, but the long-term benefits were well worth it. Forgetting shoulds and going for what you actually want many times comes at a very high price, but keep going. Instead of being who I should be, I am who I am. It's much easier to do. As Oscar Wilde once wrote, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." Number 3 on our thinking error hit parade is emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning plagues almost every client I see, at least to some extent. With emotional reasoning, feelings and facts get all mixed together. Decisions are based on how we feel instead of factual thought. This has happened many times to me over the past few years. I'm going through my day and have all my meals planned to perfectly fit my nutritional goals. A few work issues stress me out, and I get a new feeling. I feel hungry. Keep in mind, I may have just eaten, but in the moment, I really feel hungry. The thought, I feel like eating, is confused with a fact-based thought. I am hungry, I need to eat. So, I go to my standard carbs and eat a pack of cheese crackers from the break room. A few minutes later, I have a new thought. I am a failure. I can't stick to my diet. I might as well give up. How do you think I feel after that? Sad, disappointed, and helpless. Instead of challenging the feeling of hunger, I cave in, and as a result, I sabotage my day. What if instead of immediately eating, I ask myself, Dave, is this just emotions, or is it an actual fact? Am I really hungry? I just eaten. In many cases, it may be my second meal of the day. My stomach is not empty. And even if I actually am hungry, I won't die because of a feeling. I can wait until noon. I can sit with a feeling and it won't kill me. How would I feel after that? Satisfied, proud, in control. Making the right decision is not automatically reinforcing. Bluebirds don't land on my shoulder when I decide to control my feelings instead of letting them control me. If I want to be fit, I need to recognize the feelings I get when I eat because of emotion. It feels great, but it's not so great for me or my goals in the long run. Let's stop there, and we'll finish our cognitive countdown in the next episode. Now it's time to head over to the gym and hear what my coach Ryan has to say about how I'm progressing. So I weighed this morning, and my weight's up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing revolutionary. By the way, everybody, I'm standing here with Ryan and my underwear talking about my weight, which is nothing. There's nothing unusual going on here. My weight went up a little bit, but I mean, my aesthetics, I'm happier like with my midsection. And I mean, my eating was a little off point. I'm trying to get together with this guy about the meals. Yeah. And I just have so many deadlines right now. But with the holiday pending, and now I'm like, well, I don't want to get it set up because I got to tell him set it up and then don't give it to me. So, but I do need to get it in the air. So, but it's not like, I mean, I've been eating all the same tedious stuff I always eat, but I think maybe a couple of days I didn't meet my protein requirements. And my protein requirements are a little low,
you're what, 180-ish right now?
Something like that.
Yeah, you should definitely be hitting that. But do the best you can. I mean, you got a lot going on, so.
Yeah, so, and then when I get back and I'm focused, I'll just be doing custom meals.
Yep.
So
that'll make your life a lot easier.
Boy, it'll make my life a lot easier.
Hey, the less willpower you have to use, the better.
Yeah. Here's 5 boxes. Eat these 5 boxes.
Yeah, make things easy for yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
So we're going to weigh. I'm going to guess that my weight, even though it's, I mean, because what does this say my weight was? Like
219.1.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's usually like 2 or 3 pounds of difference between the morning weigh-in and now, every Monday. So that actually would mean that I was down a little bit, that it was more like 216 this morning. If those trends hold, which every week that's been the case.
Yeah, I mean, body fat says we're up from 17.4 to 18.6. So, I don't know. Nothing really to get too excited about.
Yeah.
Let's see what the girth measurements say.
The word girth.
It's a terrible word.
It's a troublesome
I should
word.
say circumference. Everybody else says circumference, but for some reason I like to say girth.
Girth.
You can just turn it aside.
I like it.
Turn it aside for
it. Actually, it's kind of horrifying to say, well, your girth is...
Yeah, it gets people pretty motivated right away.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the number is. Just knowing that they have girth is scary. So that's 39. What's that?
Ooh. It's cold. I think we need to start on that measurement to warm things up because that's the only place I have clothes and then go up.
39.25. Okay, so we got 39 on the abdomen and then 39.25 on the waist. So those look like they're down a little bit from last week. So we were at 39.5 on the abdomen last week. We're at 39 this week, and then waist is down a quarter from 39.5.
So the waist is down a quarter. Okay.
Yeah, assuming that I'm measuring your girth properly.
I think that girth measurement is probably correct. Like I said, it's just been and my sleep has been a little off just because of all the emotional changes I'm going through at home and at work and everything. So, I mean, it's good. And you know what? I was looking ahead at the new workout for this month, and you anticipated my thinking, which is not the first time that's happened. Because I was thinking, what will be a nice deliverable for around the end of the year or the beginning of next year is I have never done a pull-up. I have never done one single pull-up.
Okay, well that's always a good goal to shoot for.
And for those of you, that would be everybody who hasn't seen my workout plan for this month, assisted pull-ups is on the plan.
Yep.
So that's good prep for doing. That will be a nice deliverable for the end of the year to do a single clean pull-up.
All right, I like that. I like that as a goal.
People don't know about your competition and what happened. So what happened with your competition?
Oh, yeah. So I did compete, and it was a lifetime ago. Yeah.
Actually, just a week ago. About 10 days ago,
yeah,
actually.
It's just crazy. I mean, it's kind of crazy that was just last weekend, really. But, it went well. I mean, it was definitely my best to date. Everybody always wants to know about placings and how that whole thing went, and to me it's just always really irrelevant, because all it really tells you, if you won, that means that everybody was worse than you, and then if you lost, it just means everyone was better than you, and it doesn't say anything about how you were really.
Yeah.
So because to me it's all about just getting better and learning things each time that I do it, and just putting together a better package. So I felt really good about how it looked. Definitely didn't nail it 100%. I didn't expect to. I think it's something that's going to take a few more seasons before I 100% get it down. But it was definitely the best that I've done so far, and I felt pretty good about the outcome. I mean, a lot of my family and friends did not feel very good about it, but just because the judging is always very questionable, and it's just one of those things you just can't get emotional about, because it will ruin the sport for you, and it will ruin it takes away from what it's actually about, and that's self-improvement and the effort that you put in. So I mean, now it's on to the off season and kind of try to get fat again, or get to a place where my body can be healthy and my hormone levels can get back up. I mean, I did get my blood work back, which was pretty out of whack. Just for one measurement that people are always interested in, which it's probably not incredibly important. It probably gets overstated, but my testosterone was 123, which the normal range is 300 to 800. So 123 is about as much as a prepubescent boy would have.
Wow.
So anyone who thinks that bodybuilding is healthy, or that you're at your strongest when you're on stage, and that you're the equivalent of good health, that is certainly not the case. You're really furthest from that. So there is, we've had conversations about like how lean is, lean enough, or what body composition is good for you. Like, this is definitely taking it to the extreme end, where being very, very overweight is not good, but being very, very underweight and low body fat percentage is also not a good thing. So it's strictly for competition purposes. Now it's about rebuilding back up and being healthy again, and that's going to require putting on body fat. So we'll see what kind of psychological issues come along with that. And,
we probably need to talk about that as that goes on, because that's on the topic list for this season. So I'll be in the thick of it in the next couple of weeks, so we'll see how I do compared to previous seasons. But historically I've not done very well, but I feel like I'm in a much better state of mind now, so I'm excited about it, and I want to see how I feel and how I do with it. So good for you. What was the first thing you ate regular food-wise after the competition?
I really wanted breakfast food. I mean, that's always my first go-to, but there was just a bunch of crappy diners, so I was like, I can wait. I mean, I've been waiting 7 months to eat real breakfast food, so I don't need to have it right away. So I ended up just getting a burger, which was great. I mean, but
any real food is kind of great.
Anything. I mean, just not having to measure out food is amazing. Like, I'm happy just eating. I mean, that night I ended up going home and having sardine salad, like one of my favorite meals when I'm dieting, and that's what I had for dinner, and I was like super happy to have that, and just throw extra beets on it, and
you really feel like you're partying.
It was a party. It was a great time. But ate lots of cheese, lots of nuts. I'm definitely a fat craving kind of guy. It was nice, and now I'm right back on the diet now, and just kind of slowly building back up, and just trying to start making progress. Now's the time to start making improvements and get ready for 4 years from now when I'm back on stage. So,
and you are just underlining the message that we send in a variety of ways in these conversations. This takes a long time. When I first met you, you were coming off of your last one.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've seen the whole cycle, and you're already preparing for 4 years from now, and you're thinking, yeah, well, this is a day-by-day, week, month, and year-by-year process.
Yeah, humans are very unique in that we're able to think ahead like that, far ahead for something so abstract.
But we don't like it.
Yeah, it can create some. It can be really great, and it can also create a lot of problems. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go do a new workout, and I'm going to work on this new goal that I just suggested live, which is doing a pull-up.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to keep on keeping on, even with the holidays just over the horizon. We'll see you in a few weeks and talk about 3 more thinking errors that cause us all not to think so clearly. Have a great Thanksgiving. Please keep in mind, the information in this or any episode of The Waiting should in no way be construed as medical advice. Always consult a physician before attempting to lose weight or beginning any sort of exercise program. Are you curious about my eating and exercise plans? More dietary information than you'd ever want to know, and maybe a picture or two? Head over to thewaitingpodcast.com, which has links to the show page for today's episode, as well as all of my social media channels. The Waiting is brought to you by me, David Ezell, and my producer, Patrick Ford. Our theme music is by Waylon Thornton, courtesy of the Free Music Archive. Don't forget, we have a listener line for all your questions and comments about weight loss or setting and executing any goal. Please call our listener line at 347-687-3057. That's 347-687-3057, and we'll be answering your questions as they come in. If you like this podcast, share it with a friend. And if you want to do me a solid, rate and review it. That's the primary way others will get to hear the show.